Often, a character is created with the expressed purpose of being a one-off character, someone who would only be around for one episode or a couple and then be gone. Sometimes though, either through fate, luck, or just the actor, the character is expanded on and becomes a major character in the show. We're going to look at some of the best one-off characters in television. Now, we can't cover them all, but here are some of our favorites.
Poochie's dead!
First up is Colm Meaney of Star Trek The Next Generation. His character was expected to be just a guy in the transporter room, around only briefly and a background character. However, the producers of Star Trek liked Meaney and felt he was an excellent actor, so they began to expand his role, and he began to have more and more speaking roles in Star Trek. Eventually, he would become a major cast member of the spin-off series Star Trek Deep Space Nine. In the end, he would appear in more episodes of Star Trek than any other actor, with the exception of Michael Dorn. On the Star Trek note, Garak, a Cardassian tailor, was meant to appear in only 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine. However, his performance was so good, the producers kept bringing him back, and by season 7, he was one of the major cast members of the show. The character of Gonzo had only a small role in an Ed Sullivan Christmas special. He started as a creature living in a cigar box with the name Snarl. When The Muppet Show came along, the puppet was used but with the name Gonzo, and one of the most enduring characters in the Muppet universe was born. One interesting train of one-off characters began on Perfect Strangers, where Harriet Winslow appeared as an elevator operator. She had a husband who was a cop named Carl Winslow. Eventually, those 2 characters were spun off into their own show called Family Matters. The show started as a blue-collar Cosby show, but in season 1, a gag character named Steve Urkel was introduced to show what a bad idea it was for Carl to find his daughter Laura a date for a dance at the last minute. The character became instantly popular, and by the end of the first season, he was in every episode of the show. In season 2, Urkel was one of, if not the, major character of the show. Before long, every episode revolved around Urkel, and the show became more and more weird with things like time travel, clones, possessed dolls, and much more. 2 characters in Doctor Who went from one-off to major characters. Jamie McCrimmon was a one-off character who appeared in The Highlanders, but the producers liked him so much they changed the ending of the serial, and he would join the Doctor as a companion. Eventually, he would become the longest-running companion in Doctor Who history. Colonel Lethbridge Stewart started it in The Web of Fear as a one-off character, but his role was brought back in The Invasion, and he would become one of the most important characters in the 3rd Doctor era, and he would secure himself as a major figure in Doctor Who history. He would meet multiple Doctors, and be referenced by the 10th and 11th Doctors. And when the character died, he was then replaced by his daughter on the show in the new era of Doctor Who. One of the greatest successes of a one-off character was Frasier. Originally brought in just for a few episodes as a romantic false lead in the Sam-Diane relationship on Cheers, he was supposed to disappear after 1 season. Instead, he became incredibly popular, and he would do 9 more seasons on Cheers, and 11 more in his own highly successful spin-off called Frasier. In the end, Kelsey Grammer would play Frasier for 20 years, setting a record for an actor playing a character on television. Gunther on Friends was a one-off character who never really became a major character, but he was always there. In the beginning, he was only in the background, but by season 2, since he was the only extra who knew how to work the coffee machine, he was given the name Gunther. He would remain throughout the series, and have a speaking role occasionally, and even serve as a plot device on occasion. Now, it's hard to imagine Lost without Ben Linus, but he was only supposed to appear in 3 episodes of season 2. The writers ended up loving the character, so they rewrote him as a major character for the remainder of the season. The same would happen to Desmond, who was only supposed to appear for 3 episodes of season 2 as well, but he would become an important regular on the show for 4 seasons instead.
I'll see you in another life, brother!
On Community, there have been many one-time characters who have come back for a couple more episodes, but none have been as popular or as visible as the amazing Leonard, who has appeared numerous times through the show.
Hey guys, thanks for eating all the macaroni.
Shut up, Leonard. Nobody even knows what you're talking about.
I did eat all the macaroni. It's messed up that he knows.
I'm always willing to go the extra mile to avoid doing something.
Like sex with women.
Shut up, Leonard. You smell like mentholyptus. What are you even doing here?
The stakes have never been higher.
Shut up, Leonard. I found your YouTube page. What's the point in reviewing frozen pizza?
You're talking about it.
Give me some credit, Winger. What's the worst that could happen?
Classic tee-up.
Shut up, Leonard. I know about your crooked wang.
But no such thing as bad press.
Lastly, we have the Smoking Man. Originally, he was only supposed to be an extra in the pilot episode, standing in the background and smoking. But he would make a few more appearances over the course of the first season, and in total would have 4 words to say. However, by the time the show began to rise in popularity, his role continued to increase, and he would become the primary antagonist of the entire show, and one of the major characters on par with Mulder and Scully. In the end, he would be picked as one of the greatest villains in television history, and he would be the only character apart from Mulder and Scully who would appear in both the first and last episode of the show. If you enjoyed this list, please click like. If you really enjoyed the list, please click subscribe. Every day I put up 2 Let's Plays of various PC games, and there's always at least 1 list going up each day.